And so we're in
Yeah,
Chagiga Aleph Gimel.
right. My coughing is bad. I don't know why. So, all right. We may not you burial niches nor build the whom during Kolam Oed, but we may adapt burial niches along Kolam Oed. Dig wash ponds during Kolam Oed and construct a coffin in the courtyard with the deceased. Rabbi Yehuda prohibits the latter unless the boys are at hand. We may not take wives during Kolam Oed, neither virgins nor widows, nor may Levite marriages be entered into, because it is a source of joy for the one who does. However, one may remarry his divorcee. A woman may make adornments during Kol Hamoed, but Yehuda says she may not apply lime because it is a disfigurement to her. An unskilled lay person may sew in his usual manner, but an artisan may sew only with irregular stitches. We may interface the supports for beds.
Oh,
Rabbi Yosef says we may even tighten them.
okay.
Uh, Good.
That's cool.
Okay.
That was Moed Katan. Now let's pull out Chagiga. That's okay. We needed to do it. We needed to do it. So I wasn't going to stop you. Let's do Chagiga.
I
Um,
did say Chagiga, didn't I? Olive.
that's fine. This one you don't need to worry about. That's an easy mistake to make. Um, Aleph Gimel.
Olive Gimel.
Yeah.
I have Olive. Why do I have Olive here?
Well, because we haven't done much together lately, so
Okay. Olive Gimel. Oleos, which are not obligatory, may be brought burnt whole but oleos may be brought only from unconsecrated funds, while shlamim may be purchased with tithe money. Concerning the kakiga brought on the first day of Pesach, Beit Shammai says it may be purchased only with unconsecrated money. Beit Hillel says it may be purchased with tithe money. We have Yisraelim discharge their obligation with vow offerings, gift offerings, or the animal tithe. And Kohanim fulfill their obligation with sin offerings, guilt offerings, firstborn of animals, and the beast with high and thigh of shalom, but not with foul offerings, nor with meal offerings. One, but one may not have. I have a comment here that I wrote down before, something about mincha here. Must foul offerings must be from mincha then. Is that what it's? Am I
yeah,
right?
because
Right.
mincha it's got to be done with basa bahema
Right.
to be yotze.
One who has many that eat but few possessions should bring many shlamim and few olios. One who has many possessions but few that eat should bring many olios and few shlamim. If both possessions and eaters are few, concerning this it is said, one silver ma and two silver maos. If both possessions and eaters are many, concerning this it is said, every man according to his hands giving, according to the blessing of Hashem, your God has given you.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So just to put us in context over here, the Chagiga and the Riyah, they're basically just festive offerings that a person has to bring on each of the Shalosh Regalim. Right? You've got an obligation to come to Yerushalayim and celebrate. And aside from on Pesach, you also have the Korban Pesach, but that has to be eaten on the first night. But you also have the an obligation to bring Chagiga and a Re'iyah. So a Korban Re'iyah is an Ola that gets completely burned, and he also has to bring a Chagiga, which is another animal which is to be eaten as shlamim, just to celebrate the Chag. So there's a lot of red meat going around in Yerushalayim, and the machlokas that we just read about, the Hillel Beis Shammai is like which one is the ikar. Beis Shammai says that you got to spend more on the Ola, and Beis Hillel says you got to spend more on the Shlamim. That's for your personal enjoyment. Now, the best time to do it is to bring your korbanos is on the first day of Yom Tov. And that's what our first Mishnah here, Vav, is saying. Mishe lo chag b'yom tov rishon shel chag. If he did not bring his korban ria and his korban chagiga on the first day of Chag, chogeges kol haregel v'yom tov ha'achron shel Chag. So he's got all the way through Chol Hamoed to bring his korban, and even on the last day of the Chag. So even though Shmini Atzeres is a separate Chag, nonetheless you still can bring your korban chagiga for Sukkot on Shmini Atzeres. Avar Haregel, however, if he was too late, and he missed out, Eino chayiv b'achrayos. You don't have to do tashlumin. There's nothing else you can do about it. Al ze ne'emar ma'uvas lo yuchal litzkon v'chesron lo yuchal lahimano. So it brings the pasuk in Koheles where a crooked thing can't be made straight and the loss cannot be counted. So you missed the mitzvah. It's too late. There's nothing you can do about it. And he says that's what the pasuk is referring to. Just by the way, when you talk about the time, this is about the chagim that have got Chol HaMoed. What about Shavuos that doesn't have a Chol HaMoed? So that's why we have the 6 days after Chol HaMoed, after Yom Tov of Sukkot of Shavuos, where we don't say Tachanun. And why don't we say Tachanun? Because those are the days when you could bring your Chagiga. So they're still attached to Shavuos. And so that, by the way, is why in Eretz Yisrael it's universal. Nobody says Tachnun on those days. In Chutz La'aretz, some people do, some people don't, because in Chutz La'aretz they're not as attached to the temple service stuff. So there's no reason not to go back to saying Tachnun after Yisro Chag. Anyway, so now that we've just mentioned this pasuk in Koheles and said, okay, you missed out on bringing your chagiga, and that's something you just can't fix, and we brought this pasuk as a reference for it. So now we have a discussion about what other things can be included under me'uvas lo yochal liskon. Rabbi Shimon ben Manasseh omer eizehu me'uvas she'eno yachol liskon. I've got another case of what is something that is the crooked that cannot be made straight. Zeh haba al ha'erva v'holid mimenu mamzer. So this is the real case of something that just cannot be fixed um, because now he's had a child from an illicit relationship, and the child is a mamzer and a permanent reminder to him of the thing that he did wrong. Because you can't kill a mamzer.
Right.
He's going to spend the rest of his life looking at this mamzer, knowing that this is because of his avera that there's now a mamzer in the world. Okay. Um, we, mamzer. Im tomar begone v'gozel, because if you say about somebody who stole or robbed, yachol hu lachziro, he could return it v'yitzaken. Those are things that you can fix. And everything, even if the original item no longer exists, at least you can have a monetary compensation, and the person that you wronged can be made right. But once you've created a mamzer, there's nothing you can do. Okay, so that's Rabbi Shimon ben Asya. Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai omer ein korin me'uvas ela lemi shehaya metukan batchila v'nisave. So he says something that's crooked, it must have been straight in the beginning. And he says, if this is somebody who is a Talmid Chacham and who is a Talmid Chacham haporish min Torah, he went off the derech. So okay, so why can't he come back? Yeah, he can come back, but the time that he lost while he was off the derech is something that cannot be made up. And this is interesting. This is like a very Rabbi Shimon kind of a
Uh,
shita, because he's like Kulo Torah. He's like every moment he says you should be learning Torah. So the fact that you've lost it is thing that was lost. And he says, okay, Tinok Shenishba, or somebody who never grew up learning Torah, you can't hold it against him. He didn't have the opportunity. But somebody who was a Talmid Chacham and he separated from the Torah, oh, that can just never be fixed up. That's a very Rabbi Shimon kind of shita. Anyway, Heter Nadarim. So this now is just coming back to a brief reference to the Chagiga, and talking. It talks about the substantiation of all of our different mitzvahs. What's their basis in the Torah. And Heter Nadarim Porchin Be'avir says there's like the rules of Heter Nadarim is like it just completely floats in the air. There's nothing in the Torah Shebichtav that tells us about Heter Nadarim. It's purely a tradition, an oral tradition that you can do such a thing. The Ein Lahem Al Nar Sheyismochu. We have nothing. We have not a single pasuk that tells us about Heter Nadarim. Hilchos Shabbos, Chagigos, and Ma'ilos, the laws of Shabbos and Chagiga. That's why we're talking about it in this parsha, in this Masechta, the Ma'ilos, and things where we have committed Ma'ila, abused temple property. Hareihem kahararim hateluyin basara. There's a massive body of knowledge of them that's dangling by a single thread from just like Shamoris Yam Zachoris Yam Shabbos Lekadisho. Right, and we've got reams and reams of Hilchas Shabbos, which is just based on like a very brief, laconic pasuk in the Torah. Okay. So it's just dangling by a hair. Shehein mikra mu'at v'halachas merubos, which is it's just very few psukim and lots of halachas. Hadinin v'ha'avodos. Excuse me, I gotta sneeze. Where am I? I thought about it. Yeah, got it out.
Aberrant.
Thank you. Dinim, so court rules civil laws, avodos and the avodah in the temple, hataros, laws of purity and impurity, hatumos and impurity, va'arayos and rules of forbidden relationships. Yesh lahen al mashi yismochu. There we've got plenty of psukim telling us what the details are of those halachas. The hein gufei haTorah, everything whether it's got lots of psukim or few psukim or no psukim at all. This is all Torah min hashamayim, and this is an important thing to take into account when people say, "Oh, I believe in what's written in the Torah," but all this oral law, all this Talmud stuff, who needs that? It's all part of the fundamental body of Torah, and it's all min hashamayim.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go back to Rosh Hashanah.
Rosh Hashanah
We already did Moed Katan, remember?
I thought we're going back to the Chagiga. Okay, all right. Okay, Rosh Hashanah.
Hmm.
Rosh Hashanah. Okay, I Gimel Aleph.
I've got base tests.
Seriously?
Just go back one. Just go back one. You're off by one. That's fine. Maybe you just read one extra yesterday or something.
Okay, all right. Base test. Okay. Gamaliel said the message to him, I decree upon you that you have come with me with your staff and your money on the day that your people will fall according to your reckoning. And Akiva went and found him troubled. So he said to him, I can elucidate that whatever Rabbi Gamaliel did is validly done for it. It says, these are the holidays of Hashem, holy convocations that you should declare them, whether declared in their expected time or not in their expected time. I have no holidays but these. He came to Reb Joseph Arkanus and said to him, if we come to reconsider the decisions of Rabbi Gamaliel's Bezdin, then we must reconsider the decisions of every Bezdin that rose from the day of Moshe until now, as it says, there went up Moses and Aaron, Nadav, and Abu, and 70 of the elders of Israel. Why are the names of the elders not expressly mentioned? Only to each us that every three people mentioned who rose of a Bezdin for Israel are considered like the Bezdin of Moses. Then he took his staff and his money in his hand and went to Ravna to Rabbi Gamaliel on the day that Reb Kippur fell according to his reckoning. Rabbi Gamaliel stood up and kissed him on his head and said, come in peace, my master and my disciple, my master in wisdom and my disciple, and that you accepted my words. And Gimel Aleph. If the Bezdin and all of Israel saw the moon or the witnesses were interrogated, but they did not manage to say it is sanctified before it grew dark, it is full. If only Bezdin saw it, two of them should stand and testify for the others, and they should say, it is sanctified, it is sanctified. If three saw it and they constituted Bezdin, then two should stand up and set some of their colleagues beside the single one and testify before them and say, it is sanctified, it is sanctified. An individual is not trusted alone. All shofars are valid except for that of a cow because it is a Karen. Rabbi Yossi said, but all shofars are Karen, as it is said when they make a long blast with the ram's Karen.
Okay. Sachim.
Jeez. I wish they would stop already. Sachim. Okay, this should be Vav Gimel.
You're right.
Oh, good. I made one. When does one bring a chagiga with it? When it is offered on a weekday, impurity, and it is insufficient. But when it is offered on the Sabbath or is abundant or contamination, we cannot bring a chagiga with it. A chagiga may be brought from the flock, from cow, from sheep, or from goats, or from males or from females, and from when it may be eaten for 2 days and one night. If one slaughtered the Pesach offering for some other designation on Sabbath, he is liable, thereby for a sin offering. And all the sacrifices that he slaughtered with the designation of the Pesach offering, if they are not suitable, he is liable for a sin offering. If they are suitable, Rabbi Eliezer obligates him to bring a sin offering. But Rabbi Yeshua absolves him. Said Reb Eliezer, if the Pesach, which is permitted on Shabbos for his own designation, if he changes designation, he's liable. Then other sacrifices which are forbidden on Sabbath, even for their own designations, if he changes the designation, she should not surely be liable. Rabbi Yeshua said to him, not so. If you say thus of the Pesach when he changed it to a forbidden matter, it will say he will say thus of other sacrifices when it changed them to a permitted matter. So every other to him, the public offerings prove it, for they're permitted to be offered with their own designations, that one who slaughters for other sacrifices for the designations is liable. Rabbi Yeshua said to him, not so. If you say thus of public offerings which have a limit, will you say thus of the basic offering which has no limit? Reb Meir says even one who slaughters other sacrifices for the designation of public offerings is not liable.
Okay. Klayim.
Lion. This should be a Aleph.
Yes, Bab Aleph.
What is Aris? With one plants a row of 5 vines on a fence 10 handbreadths high, or beside a ditch 10 deep and 4 wide, it is given its tillage space of 4 cubits. Reb Shammai says one must measure 4 cubits from the body of the vine to the field. The Beis Hillel says from the fence to the field. The Yochanan ben Nuri says all say who so are mistaken. Only if there are 4 cubits from the roots of the vine to the fence, it is given its tillage space, and the rest may be sown. And how much of the tillage space of the vine? 6 handbreadths in every direction. Rabbi Kiva says 3. Sorry.
Base. Yeah.
Right. If an Arab projects from a terrace, of Elias says, Ben Yaakov says, if it stands on the ground and gathers all of it, then it renders 4 cubits, 4 cubits in the field, but not if it renders forbidden that which faces it. If Elias says, it also if one plants on the ground and one has on the terrace, if it is 10 tefachtim high from the ground, it does not combine with it, but if not, then it combines with it. If one changes the vine of the jealous frame, he may not bring seed beneath the rest of it. If he brought it, it did not render it forbidden. But if the new spread is forbidden, so too if one trains over a part of a non-fruit bearing tree. I think that was it.
Okay. That's right. That's it. Kalim.
Yud Zayin Chet. The olive of which the rabbi spoke is neither large nor small, but of medium size, which is an agura. The barley of which the rabbi spoke is neither large nor small, but medium size, which is the desert barley. The lentil of which the rabbi spoke is neither large nor small, but of medium size, which is an Egyptian lentil. All movable objects can be two, but when they are thick as an ox goad, one that is neither big nor small, nor one of medium size, what is meant by one of medium size, anyone that has a circumference of 1 handbreadth. The amma of which the rabbi spoke is a medium amma. Two of one amma measuring 6 were kept in Shushan Habira, one at its northeastern corner and one at its southeastern corner. The one at the northeastern corner was longer than the amma by Moshe by a half handbreadth. The one at the southeastern corner was longer than that one by another half breadth. This second measuring stick is thus found to be longer than the amma of Moses by a full finger breadth. And why did the rabbi speak of one amma measure and one small amma measure? So that craftsmen would take contracts according to the small amma measure and return the finished product according to the large amma measure, in order that they should not come to commit me'ilah. Rabbi Meir says all amos mentioned in the context of the temple refer to medium amos, except for the amos of the golden offer board, horn, ledge, and base of the olah altar. Rabbi Yehuda says the amma of the temple structure has measured 6 handbreadths, and that of the utensils measured 5 handbreadths.
Okay.
I'm trying my best.
You seem like you're about to cough.
Sanhedrin. Okay, Sanhedrin. We should have Zion Yud Aleph.
Very good.
Okay, a source who performs a deed is liable, but not one who creates illusion. Akiva says in the name of Yeshua, 2 people may either gather cucumbers, one of them gathers and exempt, while the other one gathers and is liable. The one who performs a deed is liable, the one who creates an illusion is exempt. A Ben Sorma or when does he become a Ben Sorma or when he produces 2 hairs until his beard grows around his lower but not the upper. But the stage is employed to delegate terminary, as is written, if a man shall have a son, a man shall not a son and not a daughter, a son and not a man, a minor is exempt because he has not entered the realm of commandments. When is he liable? When he eats his tamar of meat and drinks a half log of Italian wine. Yossi says a mana of meat on the log of lime, but if he ate a mana for a mitzvah, or he ate at the meal of the inclination of the month, or if he ate Meister Shani in Yerushalayim, where he has the velos of Terefis, or Bible or creeping animals, pairs ate tebel or Master Rishon from which his truma has not been taken, or Master Shani or Hagdish which has not been redeemed, or he ate something which is a mitzvah, or something which is a transgression, or he ate any food but meat, but he drank any beverage other than wine, he does not become a ben or unless he eats meat and drinks wine. As it is said, he is a glutton and a drunkard, though he has no proof to the matter. There is an indication to the matter, and it is said, be not among wine bibbers and gluttonous eaters of meat.
Okay.
You know what? What I
So
find,
I'm gonna run.
wait, really, what I find